Can I get the attendance for today manual testing? Your name and location, reply in the chat window. We'll study today the bug life cycle. It is also called defect life cycle. Okay. Along with that, now let us see how does these test cases will be uploaded into any kind of tool. In case of manual testing, don't worry if someone refers like, okay, uh, you need to check the test cases in a tool. Tools means nothing. It can be a web-based tools also. What do you mean by web-based tool? The application that runs in the browser. That's it. That is called a web application. Okay, fine. We have discussed about different kinds of tools that are used for test tracking. Understand? Tools for test tracking tool. Can you guys give me one example of test tracking tool? Everyone knows how to write a test case. Now that all of us has written in the Excel sheet, right? We have written the test case in an Excel sheet, but sometimes it is required for us to write the test case in a tool that is called test tracking tool. Give me one example of test tracking tool. Forgot? Jira, yes. Any other tools? Jira, we can track. Yes, we can consider, but test cases, I'm not sure. Quality center, okay. Jira also you can put the test scenarios, but not exactly test cases. Test rail, yes. Test link, Bugzilla, test link. Load run is a performance testing tool. Oh, fair enough. Try to remember one or two tool names. As an engineer, as a manual tester, we should know what is the tool purpose. At least one tool for one category. TCL is an automation tool. Now let us talk about quality center. Okay. So you are writing test cases, right? Test case one, test case two, serial number two, serial number three, and we discussed about what are the things that will be there in a test case. What are the details you put? ID, title, description, steps, test steps, expected results, preconditions, priority. These are the things which you put in a test case. But only thing is you need to write this test case development. You have to do it in a tool called test tracking tool. It can be any tool. There are multiple vendors in the sense there are a lot of companies which provides these kind of tools. Let us see some pictures. How does this tool looks like? Quality center. test cases, quality center, QC, test cases in QC. Enter. We'll see some images how it looks like. One more tool name is application lifecycle management. Remember ALM, HP quality center. Earlier we were referring the Excel sheet, right? This is the Excel sheet. Subject, test case name, title. Subject can be replaced with title, test case name, test description, step, test steps. Each test step description and expected result. Right? It is in Excel sheet. If you consider a tool, HP application lifecycle management. Remember one more tool name, ALM, application lifecycle management. Here also you can write the test cases. Details, design steps. So test steps are written here. You need to enter each and every step and expected result. Description, expected result. Description, expected result. And if there are any parameters in the sense, you can consider preconditions. Any kind of attachments, configurations you need to provide. Quality center we'll see. You got some fair idea, right? Under test lab, you can create the test cases. Test runs, okay. You can, if you see other tools also, it will be of the same manner. Manual test case run. So what are the details we have? Some additional details will be there, like what is the build number, what is the test case number, or environment, all those things. But main importantly, whatever I have discussed, those things will be there. Let us see in Jira. Jira test case management. We have the total number of test cases here. And if you want to write a new test case, on the right hand side, you see here summary, issue type test case, description. Whatever the description you have, you can write it here. Even test steps will be in the second tab, steps. Requirements means precondition, environment, all those things can be considered under requirements. Test case template. That's it. Whatever is the tool, you don't worry about that if there are any additional fields also. Main importantly, we are trying to evaluate you are trying to develop the test cases which has steps, test data or initial data, preconditions, expected results, actual results, and status. Actual results will be updated after the execution. Status also. Okay. This is with respect to the tools. Test tracking tool. Now let us consider one more tool that is called bug tracking tool. Can anyone guess why do we use bug tracking tool? You have the test cases and you are trying to execute the test cases. Then what will happen? Why do we need bug tracking tool? Bugzilla, Zira, then QC. Any other tools? Any other tools for tracking the bugs? There are not many tools are there. These are the ones which I remember and very easy one. Basically, you find a defect, Jeffers scalar, okay. If you are executing the test cases and you found the defect, you need to tell to the developers about this defect. So you can either message them or email them or even share some notepad. but that is not the ideal way. You have to store it in some common repository or a tool that is called bug tracking tool, so that it will be easy for everyone to see these issues or the defects. I can view the defect, I can view its status, whether it is when is it reported, what is the status, when it is going to get fixed. So these are the things that you can do with bug tracking tool. Let us see some pictures. Bug tracking tool, Bugzilla. The moment you log into the system or the application, it shows like this. Multiple options are there: browse, search, reports, my. Okay, okay. Hold on. Welcome to Bugzilla. File a bug, search, and user preferences. Assume like you want to report a defect. Which one do you choose? You got a defect and you want to report a defect. Do you choose file a bug or search? The option itself says that file a defect or file a bug means you want to report a new defect. Search means someone has reported a defect around 1 week back, 10 days back, or 2 months back, 1 year back. You want to check the status of the defect or the defect details. Okay. So whenever you report a defect, it will generate one ID. Okay. ID in the sense defect ID. You see here bug ID or defect ID. What are the things do you provide when you are trying to report a defect? Yes, you got the defect, you are trying to execute the test cases and you got the defect. Now that you have to report that defect, you need to include some details in that defect. Try to message me what are the details you include in a defect. That is called defect template. So far we have discussed about test case template. Now let us discuss about defect template. Tell me what are the things you want to put. At least one answer from each. Defect template. Defect ID will be automatically generated. Okay. Defect ID or bug ID will be automatically generated when you submit the defect. Defect ID. So first thing is title, defect title, the subject. By looking at this subject, it is you should be able to understand what exactly the defect is. The next one is you might be checking environment. Some attributes will be there. How does the tester is reporting a defect? How does the developers or the managers will come to know what is the severity of the defect, what is the priority of the defect? Should we put severity and priority in the defect? Yes or no? Okay, we have to fill this. Defect template consists even the severity and the priority. How about status? You have to report software tester, quality analyst, manual tester. When you report a defect, you have to fill all these details. Status of the defect. Okay, it is new, opened, assigned, or reopened. That status we are going to discuss it today. Anything else? Expected result. Status of the defect. We'll discuss that soon. Actual result. Expected result. Actual result. Then test steps or steps to reproduce. Instead of test steps, someone wants to understand how this defect has come. Steps to reproduce. Steps to reproduce means you need to clearly mention how you are getting that defect. Of course, along with this environment and build number, you are getting the build right from developers. Sorry, guys. That build number also, if you remember that, you have to mention it. These are the main things. And apart from that, should we attach some screenshots? POC, proof of concept. Screenshots means images. Some proof, and then logs. Logs means like when you try to do some activity, it may record something, right? Logs. These are the things which you have to put in a defect template. You consider any defect, these details should be there. Understand? This is, and how about the status? Status means when you report a defect, it will be in unconfirmed. And the moment they finalize this defect, it will be new. And they assign it to the developers to work on that. That will be like assigned. Developers will fix this and they move it to fixed. And after that, very closed, verified. Assume like testers will check whether it is fixed or not. We try to move it to verified. These are the different states of the status or states of defect. In fact, along with this, we do get some more states of the defect, status of the bug. We'll discuss that in today's session. Very important bug life cycle. Let us see in the tool how does this defect template looks like. Okay. This is one of the defect template you see on the right hand side. You have the title. Status is confirmed. Confirmed in the sense someone is reported the defect, some tester, and it is sure that it is a defect. Product, component, version, hardware. Important. One second, guys. Okay. So you need to put URL. Why do you want to put the URL? Can anyone tell me? Here they have mentioned the URL. Okay. Do you think if you are providing the URL, is it a desktop application or a web-based application? Yes, Srikanth, you are correct. If you are providing the URL, the defect is there in a web application. Okay. Whiteboard, keyboard, keywords, these are all like not necessary. Maybe like in case if you want to know more details about this, you can check any existing defect. This will vary from tool to tool. Okay. Or you can check online also some of the tools. More importantly, whatever I have discussed, those details should be there. Okay. And importantly, let me show you some more pictures. There is an option called reported by. You see here reported by. Who will be the, what will be the answer? I mean to say, like, what is the significance of this field called reported by? Here it is reported. Reported by means, is it a manager or a tester or a developer? Who is going to report the defect? Definitely it is going to be tester, manual tester or a functional tester. So you need to fill the details. That's it. When you say something like bug tracking tool or defect tracking tool, don't worry, it is a very simple web application. You need to put the details. Severity, operating system, summary, description, reporter, component. So within an application, you have 10 modules. They have given the module names here under component. You need to select the specific module. Let me take some more pictures. Okay. These are the main important fields that you can enter when you try to report a defect. Now let us talk about the state of the defect or bug status or defect status, okay, and defect life cycle. When you report a defect, it will have some status. When the developer is working on the defect, it will be having a different status. I'll just mention like defect life cycle in Jira. You guys able to see the different states of the defect, right? These are the different states or status of the defect. New, assigned, open, fixed, retest, verified, and closed. I'll give you the definition and importance of each of these state. First thing is new. When you report a defect, you just raise the defect now. You come to know like real tool, it is, I think it is very costly too. 20 lakhs, 30 lakhs will be there. I'll see if I can get a dummy version of it, Josna, or else we have to depend on the videos. Now that we have the state new, new means you found a defect. Give me one example of a defect for any application. You take one application and give me one example of the defect. All of you reply in the chat window. I need a complete defect in a sentence. Let me read out Chandrika login. Login means assume like login fails for correct users. Ashwani Kumar login as default. Login is successful for admin and admin. Default credentials. Afros unable to transfer amount to another account. Yes, you are trying to transfer the amount, but it is failing. That is a defect. Nagarjun login is not working with correct credentials. You are providing the valid details and you are not able to log in. Balu transfer is not working. That is a defect. Yes. So any more examples, anyone? Unable to get the success message after providing the login details. Bhavani, okay. Unable to sign up. Yes, you are clicking on the sign up, but it is not getting signed up. That is also a defect. Like that, in any kind of web application or a desktop application, you can report any defects. Assume like you just reported a defect now. By default, the moment you report the defect in a tool in the sense it can be Jira or it can be a Bugzilla. Let me check in Jira. Instead of Jira, sorry, Bugzilla instead of Jira. Okay, this is called bug life cycle. Very interesting concept. Is a screenshot clear or let me select some other screenshot? It is showing for Jira. Okay, this is good now. Bugzilla life cycle, bug life cycle in Bugzilla. Let us start from beginning. When you report a defect, what does it mean? First, I am trying to report a defect. The defect will be in unconfirmed. Means sometimes you report a defect, but developers think like that is not a defect. Then directly they close the defect. From unconfirmed, directly it will come to the closed. Why it is coming to the closed? Because hold on. New assigned resolved as verified, resolved as reopened, resolved as invalid, duplicate, won't fix in. Okay, fine. You are reporting a defect and it will be in unconfirmed state. Okay. Once the bug is confirmed, then it moves to the new. What is you mean by confirmed? Think like there are three members: Arfros, Asad, Bhavani. Three members are there. There, all three of you are working on one application. Bhavani reported a defect today morning at 8 o'clock. The defect is transfer funds is not working. She reported a defect in Bugzilla. Okay. After 1 hour, Afros also found that issue and she didn't check in the tool or discussed with anyone. She also reported the same defect at 9 o'clock. Asad is there. Asad also reported the same issue at 12 o'clock. Three members work for the same team. So when these three people reported the defect, all three will go to unconfirmed first state. Okay. And there will be a project lead, manager, development manager, testing manager. They will work on one process called bug scrubbing of the bugs. Means they will check whether it is a valid defect, valid bug or not. If it is valid, they move it to the new state. If it is not valid, they move it to the resolved and they'll mention the reason. Okay, some reason they will mention. Okay. First defect is reported by Bhavani. So unconfirmed, that is a valid defect. So it will move from unconfirmed to new. You can see the signal here, arrow mark. the same defect has been reported by up rows. They'll see the defect, and the defect is also the same defect. It is a valid defect, but it is already reported by other person. So do they move it to new, or they move it to the resolved and duplicate? What do you think? New or duplicate, what will be the possible next state? Developers has to fix it, definitely, but if there is defect, only one person has to report. Other persons should check whether that similar defect is already there or not. Based on that, they have to take a call. Remember, the defects reported by the second person and the third person will come as duplicate. The first one will be new, others will be resolved and duplicate. Means they are closing the other two defects. Okay. Now it is in new state. There are 5 developers are there. Out of 5 developers, one developer will work on that. So we'll assign that defect to the developers. That is called assign. What is the job of the developer? This developer takes 5 days or 3 days, and he will fix the defect. The status will be resolution will be resolved, and the status will be resolved, and the possible resolution is fixed. Resolved as fixed, resolved as duplicate, resolved as won't fix. Okay, you guys can take this screenshot, very very important screenshot. Take this bug life cycle screenshot. Life cycle of a bug in Bugzilla. We'll discuss other states in tomorrow's session. Okay, resolved as fixed, resolved as duplicate we have covered. We have to cover other states, and when do we reopen and when do we close it, when do we do verify, what do you mean by retesting, what do you mean by regression testing. All these things we'll discuss in tomorrow's session. Fine guys, any question, anyone? We're almost close. Manual testing will be finished in another 10 sessions. That's it, very easy manual testing. Are we good for today? We discussed about bug tracking tool, test tracking tool, and bug life cycle. Bug life cycle partially covered, because again we are going to discuss the same topic tomorrow. Very important concept. If you have any questions, do ask me. Asad, you have a question, tell me. Okay, let me give you permissions to unmute. Yes, go ahead.
In status, we are getting final result, right? I hope final result and status both are same. If both are not same, then what is the different status and final result?
No, final result is something we have to fix it. The status will get changed. The status of the defect. First, it will be unconfirmed. You have an option, no? Here. Defect status somewhere we had seen. Okay. Here it is confirmed. Depending on the tool, this will change. Instead of new, it is showing as confirmed. You are able to see.
Yes, yes. I mean that one also result, right?
That is also result.
So then, what is the difference between status and final result? Just explain me that.
Okay, hold on. So status means, for example, new, assigned, okay, and fixed, duplicate. These are all like final result. You can consider it like resolution. Okay. Status means if it is in unconfirmed, what is the status? It is a new defect and it is not discussed yet. Okay. Final result is something like what is the resolution? Final resolution, you can consider it like final result. Final result, whether you are reporting closing this defect as fixed or closing this defect as invalid or duplicate, that is the final result. Status means whether it is a new or discussed and marked as new, or is it with the developer assigned, okay, or is it resolved. Resolved means Already we have processed this. And what is the resolution? That you can consider the difference between status and resolution. Got it? Or any confusion? Not able to hear you, Asad. Okay. Any other questions? Anyone? Okay, fair enough. Very,
Yeah, I
very
got it. Thank you.
important.
Thanks a lot.
Yes, yes. Very, very
Are you
important.
getting my voice?
Yes, yes. Now we are able to
Yeah,
get.
yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Now I understand. Thank you. Thank you so much for explaining this. Have a wonderful day.
Sure, Asad. Very important topic. This is like because you are going to work on the defects. If you don't know how to report the defect, what is its status? Say, for example, some developer comes and says like, go and get all the defects that are in the new state. Assume like, please send me the defect list which I have to work. There are some defects in the resolved and fixed. There are some defects in the news. There are some defects under verified. You need to be providing only the new defects. You should not provide the resolved fixed, right? Tomorrow we'll discuss. We'll continue tomorrow. Thank you guys. Have a great day. See you tomorrow again. Bye bye.